Hello there. It's the chairman of the United States Department of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people. And welcome to the 14th episode of 2025. And on today's episode, I'm bringing you new comic book day recommendations for the week of April the 2nd. And to start this week at 322 new releases and 568 releases overall, including variants. That is a huge drop from last week, which was like 800 and something variants. So a slight decrease, but that's not all bad. But let's jump into it and break it down. We're going to start with Marvel, as always. In the start, we got Psylocke, Volume 2, Issue 6, and this is by Alyssa, Wong, and art by Vincenzo, Carratu, and cover by Mahmud, Asrar, and Matt Wilson. In this issue, Psylocke is one of the X-Men's most dangerous and skillful telepaths. So why is her own mind the one thing she can't seem to control? Quanon has begun to accept her past, but something's better left buried. I thought this was the dopest cover they had this week with the pink and black. And Mahmud always does fantastic work. I can't say enough about his art. But this has been really good so far overall. I'm looking forward to the new arc in this story and see where we're going with it. Jumping over to DC this week, we're starting with a new title, and that is Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma. And this is issue 1, written by Ron V and art by Anand RK and Jackson Butch Guice, and covers by Jeff DeKal and Dan Panosian. So this is all about Mitch Shelley, the Resurrection Man, who has led thousands of lives, and with each unexpected death and resurrection comes a new superpower. But after living a life to its natural conclusion, Mitch Shelley is awoken by a new purpose and power, saving the universe. In this one, you're going to follow the Resurrection Man through time as he fights against a monster of his own creation, Gash Adojuro, a sadistic World War II internment camp commander who has inherited a twisted version of Shelley's powers. The lines of cosmic order will begin to blur as no good deed goes unpunished, and whatever the cause, whatever the consequence, this much is true: he's dying to save you. This is the Dan Panosian cover here, and I thought this was the dopest cover out this week for this book, and I really enjoyed Dan's artwork. And I'm really excited to sit down and read this one this week. But we're going to stay in DC for one more title, and it's not something I normally do. But here lately, I have been picking up a lot more trade paperbacks of stories. And this week was no different, as I picked up 2 different trade paperbacks. And we'll start with the first one, and that's DC Vertigo's Punk Rock Jesus. So in this one, it's written by Sean Murphy, who also did the cover and art for this title. And this is about a reality TV show starring a clone of Jesus Christ who causes chaos across the U.S. of the near future in Punk Rock Jesus, a new title collecting the 6-issue miniseries with 10 new story pages. Religious zealots either love or hate the show, angry politicians worry about its influence on the nation, and members of the scientific community fear the implications of cloning a human being at all, let alone the Son of God. And what effect will this all have on Gwen, the young woman who is selected through an American Idol-style process to be the mother of the new Messiah? All this leads to the hiring of Thomas McKell, the clone's bodyguard, and a former IRA operative with a turbulent past who must protect the new Messiah, a baby who captivates the world but grows up to become an angry teenager. So I wasn't collecting comic books when this came out, and this is right up my alley. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to pass it by. Let me pick this up and give this a read. And Punk Rock Jesus. So up next, we're moving over to Boom Studios. We have issue 9 of Hello Darkness, written by Cullen Bunn, Robert Hack, Jordan Thomas, and of course, R.L. Stine, with art by Francesco Francavilla, Robert Hack, Shaky Kane, and Daniel Bayliss. And this cover is by Michael Del Mundo. And in this issue, prepare for a fresh new terror as R.L. Stine and Francavilla's The Life and Death of Lucas Dreamwalker and Robert Hatt's I Can't Take You Anywhere continue in the newest installment of the genre-defining horror anthology series. Meanwhile, a young artist sells her soul and more to an AI chatbot in exchange for fame and success, in a sinister new tale by Jordan Thomas and Shaky Kane. And Cullen, Bunn, and Daniel Bayliss imagine a monstrous new method of disciplining misbehaving children. Really dope cover for this book. Excited to read this. I'm going to see if they have the trade paperback so I can sit down and read them all. I don't know why haven't collected this up until now, but I will definitely be going back and checking this out, as I wasn't aware of it, and I don't know why. But moving right along, the next up is, we're not going to deep dive into it too much, but it is a fourth print of, I believe it's the fourth print. Yeah, fourth print of Mark Spears' Monsters, #1. And of course, Mark Spears does the art and the covers and everything for this book, and it's based off his card series of the same name. I finally got it. My hands are on issue #1 of this, so now I can sit down and read the first 4 chapters of this book, and I'm really excited about that. So I'll let y'all know. But Monsters, Mark Spears. Shout out to Keenspot for picking this series up and giving it some love. Up next, we're going over to Darkhorse this week, and I got Star Wars: The Bad Batch Ghost Agents, issue 2 by Michael Morrissey, art by Ruari Coleman, and cover by Fritz Carlomagno. Carlomagno. In this issue, the Bad Batch race bounty hunter Embo to recover stolen intelligence that could compromise Republic spies everywhere. Their mission brings them face to face with the nefarious Pike Syndicate, a notorious gang of spice smugglers that poses a serious threat to the clones. Will the Bad Batch escape with their lives before Embo flees with the intel? The Republic war effort depends on it. I will always read anything Star Wars related when it comes to comic books, and I'm a huge fan of the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. So this was a no-brainer to me when this came out that I was going to immediately start collecting it and reading it. I highly recommend y'all do the same, and it is some of the best Star Wars out there next to the High Republic era stuff. So moving right along this week, we're going to make a stop by Dynamite, and we have The Terminator, issue 6, written by Declan Shalvey, art by Lorenzo Ray, and cover by Edwin Gallman. As the first generation of human mimicking infiltrators deployed by Skynet against the resistance, the T-600s displayed all the problems that come from rushing a prototype into production. Covered in unconvincing rubber skin and lacking any organic components, they were easily detected and destroyed. But if there's one thing Skynet is good at, it's learning that its mistakes, and as the historic tales of the pivotal issue demonstrates, every T-600 mission, no matter the outcome, brought the lethal T-800s one step closer to activation. This has been a fun series so far as it walks us through the past up until where Skynet releases the newer issues of the T-Series droids. This has been fun. I've really enjoyed it. Declan always does a fantastic job no matter what it is. So shout out to him. And Dynamite this week, Terminator issue 6. So jumping over to Oni Press and EC Comics this week, we have issue 4 of Cruel Kingdom, written by Jay Holtham and art by Valeria Berzo and covered by Gabriel Rodriguez. EC's final slash through the realms of fatalistic fantasy step once more through the veil into a shadowy world of demons and dragons, alchemy and anguish, where a fork in the path can be the difference between untold treasures and certain doom. This has been really good so far, and I hope by the words in that description of the book does not mean that this is the end of Cruel Kingdom. I really would like this to continue on. It has been that good in my opinion. But if you can get your hands on Cruel Kingdom, go pick up a copy of it and give it a read. It is really, really good. Staying with Oni Press this week, my copy of mine is A Long Lonesome Grave, issue 1 arrived, and it's written by Justin Jordan, art by Chris Sheehan, and cover by Kelsey Ramsey. And this is about Harley Creed, who is a bad man who used to be worse. A violent ex-con with a string of brutal crimes in his past, he only wanted one thing when he finally walked free from prison: to leave Briar Falls, West Virginia behind and disappear forever. But Harley's hometown has a strange way of swallowing people whole. Call it a consequence of the low-level folk magic that has permeated its darker corners for generations. And now that Harley has returned, pent-up vengeance for his past crimes is about to come roaring back. So issue 2 is really good. I went ahead and read it before I read issue 1, but now I can go back, read issue 1 and also issue 2, because I got a feeling this is going to be a really good one. And honestly, I could see a TV series or even an animated series based off of this book. It is very much Red Dead Redemption-esque, and I've enjoyed issue 2, so I'm really looking forward to this one and what comes next with issue 3 when it comes out later. So, we're not done with Oni Press this week, because Oni Press is absolutely killing the game right now. And to say that, we're going to a new number 1 this week with issue 1 of Plague House. This is written by Michael W. Conrad, art by Dave Chisholm, and covers by Brian Level and Noah Bailey. Houses aren't the only thing that are haunted. This spring, Architect of Terror Michael W. Conrad and 2024's Ringo Award winner Dave Chisholm began a deep and disturbing excursion into 21st century horror with a new kind of tale that will rebuild the 4 walls of the American ghost story from the foundation up. This is what I've been really excited about. Last week when I was at GalaxyCon, Michael Conrad was one of the writers I was hoping to meet. However, I just did not get a chance to find him. But this is his new book. I'm really excited to read this one. So, Plague House. This is the first issue of it. So if you can get to your comic shop to pick up a copy of it, I highly recommend you doing that, because Michael Conrad is a fantastic horror writer. Jumping over to Image this week, and we're going to start with a new number 1, very highly anticipated by me. And it's one of those where, again, I think this could be a really cool TV series, whether it be Amazon or Netflix or something like that. But let's dive into it. That is, I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer, written by Doug Wagner, art and cover by Daniel Hilliard, cover colorist is by Michelle Madsen, and lettering by Ed Dukeshire. And I picked up covers from Daniel Hilliard and Jay Lee, and June Chung did the colors for Jay Lee's cover. And in this new title, Rini Jathari has just been accepted into New York City's most prestigious fashion school. Her designs are daring, edgy, and singular, and made of human flesh. Did we forget to mention that Rini is a serial killer who simply wants to be a fashion designer instead? But she has stupid, pesky, murderous urges. I've been seeing the previews for this for weeks and weeks now. Well, basically months at this point. And it's finally out. I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer. Really looking forward to sitting down and reading this one. I know it's going to be fantastic. But let's stay in Image this week, and we're going to go over to Jesus Orlania's Juvenile, issue 5. This is the conclusion of his series Juvenile. And in this one, Sarah and her friends are on the brink of freedom, but the adults aren't letting them go without a fight. A shocking revelation changes everything in this epic conclusion to the Juvenile story. Can't wait to sit down and finally read this one. And I'll probably actually get all 4 of them out and read them all together, because I'm pretty sure there's some things I've forgotten over the last few months of waiting for this to conclude. Jesus Orlania is a fantastic writer. I've seen some of his writing and some other stuff, and I really enjoy it very much. But this is his book. He does the cover, the writing, and the art in it. So very talented individual. But let's stay with Image. And the next one I have up, it's just a cover from last week that didn't come in until this week. And that's We're Taking Everyone Down With Us, issue 1. And this is the Josh Hood cover. This is a really, really dope cover. It's actually it's got the cutout. It's like a 2-part cover. And I thought it was really dope. That's why I went ahead and picked it up. But that's all I wanted to show y'all on that. I did walk y'all through this book last week. read it, and it was also really, really good. But I'm going over to some Ghost Machine now before we dive into the Spawn universe last. But let's jump over to Hornsby and Halo this week. This is written by Peter J. Tomasi, art and cover by Peter Schnechberg, and the colorist was John Calise. In this issue, to face the adjudicator, no thanks, says Rose Hornsby and Zachary Halo. Who is this mysterious and powerful presence that has been following these children of heaven and hell? And to what end? The answers, some of which are hidden in plain sight, will surprise you. I'm really enjoying Hornsby and Halo, but I'm a big fan of Ghost Machine. I enjoy all the work they do over at Ghost Machine. Jeff Johns has put together a fucking fantastic team. So I can't say enough great things about the work they do, whether it be in their art, their writing, their covers, you name it. They are all just so damn good. So go pick up some Ghost Machine and give this a read. It's enjoyable. We're going to stay in Ghost Machine. We're going to go over to my favorite street, Hyde Street, and let's dive into it. And this is by Jeff Johns, and art by Ivan Reese and Francis Portella, and cover by Ivan Reese, Danny Meeke, and Brad Anderson. And this is Mr. X-Ray seeks an ally among the terrifying beings known as the Residents. But are there any to be found? Meet Miss Glee Goodbody, the model of a healthy lifestyle with a permanent grin and unshakable confidence. She lulls her clients with the seductive promise of effortless transformation, but underneath that perfect exterior lies a core of rot and deceit. One Mr. X-Ray is determined to uncover and understand if he dares. This is issue 5 of Hyde Street, and damn, it is so good. I really enjoy Hyde Street very much. It's a little different every week with the stories it presents, but I've enjoyed it very much. I can't say enough great things about Ghost Machine, like I've said probably 100 times at this point. Go give it a read and let me know what you think about it in the comments. So we're going to stay in Ghost Machine for one more book, and it is the other trade paperback that I mentioned earlier, and it's the trade paperback for Rook Exodus, covering issues 1 through 6. This is, of course, written by Jeff Johns with art by Brad Anderson and Jason Fabuk, and who also worked on the covers on this book. And Rook Exodus is really, really good. Go get the trade paperback. Give this a read. I promise you will enjoy it. And the new issues, I think, are starting up this month or next month. So I'm excited for the new stuff to come out for this so we can continue on with this story because it's really good. All right, jumping over to the Spawn universe now. We are almost done. And to start the Spawn universe, we have a new #1 this week with Black Ritual, the Book of Knits, issue 1 by Thomas Healy, with Nat Jones doing the art. And I picked up covers from Nat Jones and Jonathan Glampian. In this entry to the Spawn universe, Knits has been many things to Al Simmons, an enemy, a friend, a savior, and more. She was the first to take the mantle as She-Spawn and help save Wanda and Cyan alongside Al. Then one day she just disappeared. She now reigns as the Queen of Hell, but where has she been and what has she done to set her on this path? So Spawn artist Nat Jones returns alongside writer and Spawn editor-in-chief Thomas Healy to fill in the gaps of those lost years, dealing with the repercussions of the decisions that the fan favorite witch has made. Thomas and Nat will delve into the past, present, and future as she seeks to help the Lost Coven. This is the Virgin variant of Jonathan Glampian's cover. It's really cool. I'm a huge fan of Knits in the series. She's always been one of those characters who pops up and then just kind of disappears again. So I'm really excited to see them fill in the gaps of where she's been at all this time. So staying in the Spawn universe this week, and we're going to Sam and Twitch Case Files, issue #12. And this is written by Jordan Barrow, art by Thomas Nachlit, and covers by Federico Sabatini and Marco Falia. In this issue, Twitch struggles with his time away from duty while Sam investigates a walking corpse. Think of this as some pop sitcom. It's episodic week by week. tells us a great story in there each week, but I've really enjoyed Sandwich Witch Case Files. Like I said before, I had missed out on the original run in the 90s, and I'm not missing out on it anymore. This is issue 12, and I really enjoy Sandwich Witch Case Files. Last up from the Spawn universe, in our last book and my last recommendation for the week, we are going to Descorched, issue 39 by John Layman, art by Steven Segovia, and covers by Raymond Gay and Von Randall. In this issue, the Scorched is still reeling from the latest attack from the Viscerator, but they have one more card to play, but it may cost the life of one of their own. I've really enjoyed the Scorched since it came out about a year ago, and I can't say enough great things. Well, I guess it might have been 2 years ago now that it came out, but I really enjoy it. I've enjoyed everything that the Spawn universe has produced and have since the 90s. So, but that's it for my recommendations for April the 2nd. Let us know what you picked up down below in those comments while you're hitting that like button and that subscribe button if you're just now discovering the USDN podcast for the first time. I do my weekly comic book updates. I do try to get it out on time, which rarely happens, but I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. The podcast is a work in progress, so bear with us as we make this what we want it to be. But I do hope you enjoyed this episode of USDN Shorts, and be out on the lookout for on my other social media platforms when I post up all the covers from this week's stuff. I only show y'all one cover, but like with the Spawn universe, I usually get the dual covers. And for some of the other books, I do pick up other covers as well. Stay tuned. I got some other bigger shows coming out. There's a lot of new Star Wars coming out, which we will be doing those weekly. Hopefully, fingers crossed that I'm able to get a team together weekly to talk about Andor when it comes out. But that's all I have for you this week and in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button for me because we appreciate it. It goes a long way here and lets us know that you appreciate what we do. But that's it for me. On behalf of myself, the chairman, and the Council of Nerds, this USDN short is USDN approved.